Speed is king in business. Or is it? How is it going, ladies and gentlemen? This is Sean Barnes. I want to welcome you back to the Way of the Wolf. Speed is king in business. Or is it? That's the question I'm going to be diving into today. Now, I talk a lot about reducing friction and helping to move initiatives forward. The more friction we can reduce, the faster your business can move forward. The more effectively you can communicate through your teams, the better they understand what's going on, and they will be able to move through projects and initiatives faster. In the micro, speed is king. But in the macro, patience rules. I'm going to dive into this. I'm going to give you some specific examples. Whenever I talk about the micro, I'm talking about day in, day out, the tasks and duties and things that are occurring in your business. Let's imagine we have a situation, there's a question that comes up that is going back and forth in your team. An email gets sent off. Hey, John, I need some help with this thing. What are your thoughts? Send. Now, John might be busy. He might not see or get to that email that same day, might not even get to it for 2 or 3 days. And then all of a sudden he remembers, oh God, I got to respond to Sean. He responds, yes, do option A because this. Cool, check. All right, so I start working on it. Oh, another question comes up. I think about it, I research it, I talk through it with myself or others on the team. Oh man, I need John's input again. Hey John, I did this thing, but now I'm running into this. What are your thoughts? Okay. So John takes another day to get back to me. Oh man, here we are back and forth. One quick little thing that I'm trying to get across the finish line has taken days or even a week to get across the finish line just because I was communicating through email. Now, let's model this out in a different way. Hey, John, I know you're really busy, but I got a quick question for you. I'm working through this project. I'm struggling with this. What are your thoughts? Okay. All right. Yeah. Got it. Okay. All right. Well, what if this? All right. Perfect. Cool. I'll knock it out. Now, in scenario A, getting that thing done took a week, as opposed to the expert who was able to pick up the phone, call John, and effectively communicate and talk through what the challenge was, what the issue was, get an answer, get it done, and move on. Now, Sean is working on task 2 and 3 and 4. If we extrapolate that out over a year, talk about crazy increases in productivity. The amount of energy and effort was the same. It was just delayed over days just because of how long it takes to communicate through email. Don't be afraid to pick up the phone. And this is what the experts really know. They're going to solve a problem. They're just going to pick up the phone, have a conversation with somebody, or walk down the hall if you're still operating in an office and have a conversation and start moving things forward. In the macro, however, patience is king. Let's think about another scenario here. Okay, you're building a business. You have this idea for this great widget, and you start designing it. You start putting together some test runs and trials and modeling some things out, getting a little bit of feedback from your customers back and forth. And then things start to fall apart. The widget starts breaking. You start having issues and challenges. It breaks. but you know in your heart that this tool will change the world. It will positively impact the lives of everybody who's able to use this tool. Working through those issues, those challenges, coming up with various iterations and revisions of that product, it's going to take time. If you get 6 months in to building this project or building this tool and are not really getting the results that you want, and then you say, you know what? Oh man, this isn't really working. Maybe I'll go get my real estate license. I'll start selling houses. That's a good way to make money. And then you shift and start doing that thing. And then you realize the housing market kind of sucks. Interest rates are through the roof. 6-9 months in. Okay, well, maybe I could be a life coach. Yeah, I could do that. All right. And then that doesn't work. Whereas if you would put all of that time and energy, instead of going and getting your real estate license, instead of learning how to be a life coach and build your Instagram profile, if you put all of that time and energy into that tool and going over and over and over, working through all iterations and solving every problem as it came up and just stayed consistent, you would have solved those technical issues with the product. And you would have been able to potentially release a product, start selling it, start making revenue. In this world of instant gratification, sometimes we have to be patient. We have to be consistent. We have to be diligent on how we allocate our time and energy, because that's ultimately how you are going to build something great. All of the major brands that we are aware of, they took decades to build, staying singularly focused on one thing. That is what it takes to impact at scale. That is what it takes to build something great. So that's a quick rundown of my thoughts on speed in the micro and patience in the macro. Now, there's a few other things that I do want to touch on related to speed, and that is the relation of speed and accuracy. Yes, speed is important. If you are in a service company or you are selling a product, the faster you could get that product, whether it's a physical product or an actual service, the faster you can get that to your customer, the happier your customer is going to be. Yes, we can all agree on that. Where things start to fall apart is when you sacrifice accuracy for speed. That's not a good thing. No, that is not good at all. Because if you have spent years building a reputation for delivering results and accurately delivering results, all it takes is a new person coming into your team that maybe doesn't pay as much attention to detail to get something out the door quickly just to get it to the customer. But if it's wrong and then you have to redo it, that's not a good thing. That's actually a really bad thing, because you spent all this time building your brand and reputation, and then in an instant, it's gone. Can you recover from it? Yeah, maybe. That's a tricky question. I guess it depends on how big the oopsie was. How big of a mistake was made? Did it cost the customer anything in terms of time or revenue for their business? If it did, you might struggle. Our reputation is all that we have. We are what we do, not what we say. So if you say that you are going to be fast and accurate, you need to be fast and accurate. Now, usually fast and accurate comes with a premium or a cost, and that's okay if that's the market that you're in. But make sure that you do not sacrifice accuracy for speed, just to get something out the door. Ultimately, this all comes down to a healthy balance of speed, patience, and accuracy. When you're able to find that healthy balance of all of these things, you're going to start accomplishing big things. I will say patience seems to be lost on society today as we progress and start leveraging technology more and more in our daily lives, and then AI becomes more prominent in all of our lives. We have to make sure that we're staying patient and consistent with the things that we are doing, with the things that we are building, and staying patient with ourselves. When you're focusing on building yourself, when you're focusing on changing yourself for the better, it's not an easy process. It's going to take time. It's going to hurt. It's going to be painful. And that's a good thing. Learn to enjoy it. Learn to embrace it. And when you get into that dark place, start viewing things through a lens of, what is this trying to teach me? What is this going to forge me into? It's going to forge me into the best version of myself. That's the mindset that you have to have whenever you're going through some challenging times. And we're all going to go through challenging times. That's the reality of the world. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is all I have for the show today. Please do me a favor, like, subscribe, leave a review. I appreciate some of you started leaving some reviews and sharing the show even more. It means the absolute world. If we get this out there, get it in more people's ears and more people's eyes, we'll be able to positively influence and help more people. That's what this show's all about. Thank you so much, and y'all have a good one.